Hi guys, this is my first tutorial on how I edit in Photoshop and Lightroom. I start in Lightroom because I shoot all my photos in RAW, and so I thought I'd let you see how I take a photo straight off the camera and end up with a final product. This is probably going to be quite bad. I'm doing the recording afterwards. I already have learned a few things that I should have put my mouse to be recorded because I can't really see where I'm clicking. I'll remember that for next time. And the quality's not that good. I'm going to fiddle around and try and improve that for next time because you can't really watch it full screen, and so you might not be able to see as easily. So I'm going to talk through it and hopefully explain. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. I hope it's not the worst editing in the world. You might not like it, might not be your thing. I don't always edit like this. I always change around what I do. Sometimes I edit normally, sometimes I like putting colours on. And so this is one with colours and stuff. And editing out lead ropes. Because we don't want lead ropes, which are nice and purple in the photos, lovely as the lead ropes are. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thank you! By changing the exposure, I always play around with things. You can kind of see what I'm doing. I make it up as I go along, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I like adding a bit of blacks into it. I just tend to play with the sliders until I find something that I actually think looks half okay. And then I always play with the curves, adding the tones in, darker tones, then balancing out with the highlights, just to kind of get more of that range in there. Then having a little look at detail, see if it needs sharpening or anything, which I don't think it does. It's quite a sharp lens. Playing around with the colours, I mean, this is just stuff in Lightroom. I don't tend to change much in Lightroom, if I'm honest, because you can do a lot of it in Photoshop, and normally what comes out of the camera is pretty true to what I was looking for in the first place. So yeah, I'm going to leave the sharpening because it's quite a sharp lens and camera, so I don't want it to look over sharp at this point. I lied, I did sharpen it slightly and took the detail out. A little bit of post-crop vignette just to kind of focus you on the centre of the image. Feather it out a bit. It's all good. And then that was that. That was the that part finished. Now I'm going to open it in Photoshop. So it's like double the speed, so it's really hard to keep up with. In Photoshop, add a little bit of contrast to the image, then play with the curves. I always put a bit, you can kind of see what I do, like I lift the middle bit after already holding down the top and the bottom, because then it kind of brings out the mid-tones and you can see like before and after what that looks like. I don't know what I'm doing now. Oh, lead rope time, I think. Yeah, so go on the stamp tool, clone tool, can't remember what it's called. I'm really good at this explaining thing. And then you want to find an area which is similar. You press Control Alt, no, you just press the Alt key, select that area, and then you can kind of brush onto the lead rope and you'll get the same colour as the bit which is selected. It'd be easy if you could see my mouse in this. I appreciate that. Sometimes you have to reassess it though, because you might actually bring some green into it. I use quite a soft brush for this, and then just making sure it doesn't look ridiculous. Now what's going on? Oh yeah, filling it in from that side because I know that I'd end up with green bits if I didn't. I think I changed the brush down quite a bit size-wise. And then just feathering it in to make it sure it looks quite natural. We don't want it to be obvious that we photoshopped a big rope out. We want it to look like it never should have been there in the first place. And do the same, just grab a bit from the side using the Alt key to select your area. Just removing the green bits. So this time obviously you select the green area to copy from. And just keep playing with it really until you find what you want, and then I'll realise that I left a bit down by Lucy's head. Yeah, so then the rope is gone, and hopefully you wouldn't have been able to tell that it was there in the first place. Playing with the curve levels. I'm forever playing with the curve levels. I just like to fiddle around with them, see where it gets me. What was I doing there? I selected a tool or something. Oh, I selected the black key to mask off the bits that I don't want to be too dark. Or light, I can't remember which one I do. Anyway, I'm hoping you're paying more attention to this than I am. Yeah, if you put a mask on and then if you use a black key, you can take off bits in the area. So I didn't want Lucy to be as bright. So you can kind of see the before and after that. So if you use the black key on top of the mask, then you can undo all the areas without having to select them individually. So you can kind of see on the right hand side that I've painted half the canvas in black, but on that layer flatten the image just so I have a canvas all together. What am I doing now? Anything? New layer. Select a very pale yellow. This is going to help if you add some lighting in to make it look like you've got that soft sun. So you use a soft brush, then a slightly darker yellow, turn the opacity down, and it kind of does that glowy effect. Then we're going to go and screen, but change it to, I think we ended up with hard light, and then turn the opacity right down until it looks natural, because you don't want it to overpower the image, you don't want it to look too hazy, depending on what look we're going for. And then I just use the free transform keys to drag it to how I wanted it, because you want it to look like it's not just poking out the top corner, you want it to look like it's in the whole image. And then I did another layer and then screened this one. No, hard light again, I lied. Oh, no, I have changed the screen. Yeah, screen. And then that just gets a bit stronger in the corner. Go image, apply image on a new layer to keep another base layer. Oh, and here I'm on the burn key, which is on the left hand side, about halfway down, and I'm just burning the edge of the images. Now I've gone onto the shadows to burn, and just burn out the darker parts. And I'm doing this on the image so that it shows up, and then you can see the before and after. I just like having a vignette around my photos. It kind of draws you into the middle. Just personal preference. And I'm going to use a pink brush on a new layer. Screen. It just adds a bit of colouring really, just to play around with that. You can just drag that to however you want it, just to stay in the middle. Select a darker pink. New layer again. Screen. Or is it lighten? I can't see from here. They basically do the same thing, and then just adjust the opacity. I hope you can kind of see what I'm doing. I hope it's clear enough. And then again, just lift the mid-tones, see before and after. I was just playing back with curves here to see what kind of effect I wanted. I don't think I actually ended up keeping this. I think I might have cut some of this out because it went a bit off on a tangent. But sometimes it's quite nice to lift the bottom of the curve because then it kind of gives you that matte tone effect. On a new layer again, I'm going to paint the whole image. I should have just clicked on the paint bucket tool, but just paint with a light opacity, just the whole photo. And then select, where is it? Oh, it was taking a while to load. Select, what did I select in the end? Lighten, I think. So the lighten option. And then just dial the opacity right down so that you get the image coming through. And then I went on the eraser because I didn't want it to be so pink in the top left hand corner, and I just erased part of that layer to get it how I wanted it. So close up of the image to see what it kind of looks like in the darker areas. Then you go onto the dodge key, and you're going to pick up the highlights in the eyes, because the eyes should always kind of stand out a bit more because they capture the image really. Go on highlights for this, and I think I'm on about 50, and just kind of highlight over the lighter shiny bits of the eye. And then you can do the same with the main. So just go like turn the opacity, turn it down. Just drag it over the bits which should be highlighted. So like where the light would catch in the photo. As you can see, I'm kind of going around the edge of the main. Right, and then edge of the nose a little bit. It's just kind of catches the light and shows where the light would be naturally. And then do the same with burning, so find burning, go on the shadows, and then just find the really dark bits and just burn that into the image. So I think I'm going onto the nostrils and the darker parts of the eye just to really show a contrast between the two. And you can see I kind of went a bit too dark on the ear, so turn it down a little bit. There you go. I typed in the wrong number. You can just play about with the curves. If you go on to select a colour, see which colours you like the image to be. You can adjust the highlights and the lowlights just by putting different points on there, see what you want. I like adjusting the blue curve because you can add blue to the lowlights and yellow to the highlights, and it gives it quite a nice effect. You can just look at before and after on that. Shouldn't be. I don't try and do things too harshly, just softly to get a difference. Colour, I went for brown just to make it slightly less pink, and I did the same again. I just filled that new layer with brown. Gone to lighten, I presume, again. Oh, trying something different. I don't know what else. Oh, yeah, lighten. Just trying different things out, really. So I think I ended up on hard light there. I think I'm erasing part of the top corner again, just to, because it's I want it to be like the light's coming, not so it's too brown. Yeah, just editing it out a bit. Basically take the eraser where you don't want it to be too brown. Just playing around with what I wanted it to look like. Adding another layer, go for a really pink, soft big brush. Just paint it on. Don't worry about where you put it because you've got it on a layer so you can take it wherever you want to take it. See, like that. And I wanted to add this light because it's getting quite dark now, the image, so I wanted to brighten it up a little bit with some nice pink. You can choose whatever colour you like. I just want to give her pinks, and for this sort of image it keeps it quite soft and feminine. So I think that's on screen, potentially. Screen or lighten. Yeah, and then just put it in the bottom corner to brighten that up a bit. Add a little colour in. And just adjust the curves once more. See what the difference is. I think I deleted that layer actually. And then I think that was it. Just saved it. And that was the end of the video. I apologise for how awful I am at narrating my editing. The screen that I'm playing it back on is very small, so it's very hard to read what is coming up in. I will bear that in mind for future. I think I have learnt a lot of things not to do on this video. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. There's probably going to be a lot of questions because I don't think I explained my thing very well. But just leave a comment or message me on Facebook or whatever you want to use. Yeah, thank you very much for watching if you did decide to watch that to the end. I appreciate that. I am awful at talking to a camera. I find it a very weird experience. Thank you, bye!